Dear brothers and sisters, today, as I just now said to you, it is Catechetical Sunday, at least in this diocese. And we are supposed to pray, especially for those who are involved more closely in the education, the religious education of the children, the catechists in our church, and also, and even more so, I would say, the parents. Because according to official church teaching, the parents are the first religious educators of their children. And so, from time to time, and now also, I feel every parent should ask himself or herself a few questions. Let us say 3. In the first place, is your house a house of prayer? I, of course, do not mean that you have to pray the whole day. But if there in your house, in your home, an ongoing atmosphere of prayerfulness, do you pray yourself? Can children see that you pray? And do you teach your children to pray also? Either before or after meal, or before they go to bed, alone or together, if possible, in the family. The previous bishop, Monsignor Gregory Young, told us that in his younger years, he was assistant parish priest in Pongo, which was the Catholic district of Singapore, from which many priest vocations have come also, Pongo. And every evening he went out for the stroll, and at 8 o'clock in the evening, he heard every family praying the rosary. Well, it seems to me that this practice of shared prayer has almost passed off in the family. As one priest recently said, if of the 100 young couples, 2 are still in the habit of praying together, I would be surprised. And that is a very sad thing. Your friends, without prayer, our whole religion, nothing. Nothing. Your whole day, actually, should be a form of prayer. You should live under the face for the face of God. Pray your day. That is what you have to learn. And that is why some people are hanging in the church, because they don't pray their day. I can see it already. I can point at you. I know what sort of people we have. You don't pray. And because you don't pray, the Mass is also rather boring for you. Has no meaning. And because of that, you cannot teach your children also. Question number 2. Do you play an active part in the religious instruction of your children? Not only by sending them to catechism classes, that is the least you should do, but also by teaching them religion yourselves. Listen, you cannot learn anything in this life, anything of importance, without being taught, without being instructed. If you want to learn mathematics, you have to learn the basics from a teacher. Nobody is born with the table And the same goes for religion. If your children are not taught at least the basics, they will forever remain illiterate baboons in religion. So they need to be taught the basics of the religion. Say the Our Father, the Hail Mary, or the Apostles' Creed, the Ten Commandments. Some basic beliefs that God is a loving Father and that Jesus, His Son, died for us on the cross and rose from the dead. Some beginning understanding of the Bible and the meaning of the church feasts and the Mass and the sacrament of confession. And teaching this kind of things should not just be limited to the church here, because cannot be done here completely and adequately. You have more time here and your family life. Maybe 80% of the time is spent by your children and your family. So you have to do it. Just but I can't. Okay, then you learn it. That's your task as parents. It's not so that you're sitting there like a sacrosanct here in the church, not improving anything in your faith and in your knowledge of the faith. You are responsible for your children. You are the teachers. Women and men, mothers and fathers, both. And you also should make sure that the child is protected as much as you can against the evil influences which come from outside. There is a lot of filth in the air. I don't know whether you still remember, a couple of years ago we had the haze from the forest of Kalimantan, and everybody talking about the haze. We could not see properly anymore, and some parents were very panicky about their children, and they bought filters and masks so that they would be able to filter out the impurity in the air. Now, let me tell you one thing. There is much more filth in the earth in a spiritual way. Our atmosphere is polluted by all sorts of filth in the area of sex or whatever. And you have to filter that out at least as much as you can. Sometimes get very agitated about people who make a lot of fuss about smoking, and you put your inhaler back for the house, but worry more about the spirit and the filth that enters the spirit than the filth that enters your lungs. Anyway, it is the task of the parents to check the books the children read, the TV programs they watch, the computers they play with, etc., etc. And then the third and the most important question is, of course, do you, as a parent, try your best to set a good example? Somebody once asked, why was Jesus so successful in his teaching in the end? Well, the simple answer is because he not only said it, he did it. Actions always speak louder than words.